know this is about to be the greatest drop ever. Hey, this is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're tuned in with Louanna on AZ in the Know.
Hey, my name is Dathan Thigpen, Season 8 winner of All-Star Sunday Best, and you're listening to and watching AZ in the Know with Real Talk Louanna.
We're V3, and you're watching Louanna on AZ in the Know.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Alexis, and you are watching AZ in the Know with your girl Louanna.
Hello, it's Real Talk with Louanna with AZ in the Know on AZ TV, and we are here live at the ASCAP Morning Glory Breakfast. We are going to interview some of the top artists and producers here at the Stella 2016. You guys want to stay tuned? You never know who's going to show up. You never know what you got to go through in order to make it through. AZ in the Know on AZ TV. Yes, I'm here with Flame. Interviewed him a few years ago. I think I was still in college.
We go back.
I've seen you progress so much in this industry and what you're doing with music. Let's talk about the direction.
Yeah, you know what? Just been feet to the ground, just working with real people with real issues in the juvenile detention centers, sharing the good news, taking hip hop and rap music, marrying it together so people can hear God's heart.
How do you feel about when they try to label you or put you in a box and say that you're a Christian hip-hop artist?
I don't necessarily mind. In mainstream rap, a lot of people embracing that title anyway that probably wouldn't even be, in the faith necessarily. And then it's something that when people hear the music, see the art, if it's good, they appreciate it. So I don't mind.
Okay. How is it being a woman in this industry?
It's tough sometimes, especially being a young woman. There's a lot of different things that they try to box you into. There's a lot of sizing up that they kind of do. However, I love it because it provokes the inner lioness in me, to lead and show that although I'm a woman, I'm still holding it down. God is still faithful. He can still use me. And so I'm loving it. I love the challenge of it.
Let's talk a little bit about your song. Your song is amazing because it actually hits not just, hey, I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost.
Right.
It hits those that don't know nothing about God.
Absolutely. I'm a believer in using different methods to accomplish different results. And I believe that if we get out of this in-the-box mentality, we can accomplish different things. So if we get out of this in-the-box mentality where we feel like traditional gospel music is the only thing that can reach those souls that are eclectic and different and unique, I believe that that's the key to failure. But I believe that if we try something new and more innovative and give them a different approach, we can recruit those souls and build the kingdom. So I'm all about that.
Let's build the kingdom, mama.
Kingdom on foot. 7 years ago, I was homeless. I had nothing. My whole family, we lost everything we had. We lived in a beautiful home, lost it in 48 hours, lived in a hotel for months, had nothing. But through it all, God proved himself. See, do I look? Wait, where we at? Come here. I don't look like what I've been through. See, people, they see the glory. They see what you look like now, but they don't really know your story for real. So I just thank God for my story. I thank God for it being preparation for my journey, and I'm just excited about where God is taking me.
Let's talk about you as being a young artist in the gospel arena.
Yeah, well, this is something that I've always dreamt of doing. I just, started to do it actually after starting another career. I just got the courage to step out on faith. I was a teacher, got it from my students, and so it feels good to still be young enough to enjoy it and move like I want to move. Hopefully I can move like I want to move for years to come. But yeah, it feels good.
What is the transition from being a teacher to being a well-known recording artist?
It's a big jump. I don't know if you saw the movie 20 Feet from Stardom. It's about background singers going to the front. But it's an even bigger jump than that because in 1 year I went from, telling kids, sit down, stop that, because I was a math teacher in the Bronx. Okay,
I'm from Harlem, so hey.
New York. So, it was a big jump, and then just being able to stand on my own and be myself in front of the world and be vulnerable. Well, I think any dark time, that is what we encounter. And anytime we have a really heavy time of grief, we can make a choice. We can choose to follow God through it, or we can choose to grab onto something else in the process. But whatever we grab to, that's what we're making our God in that moment. And so that's when you use your praise, is when you're down in the dumps, literally, and God is there, and you have to remind yourself that He's good and He's still true. And no matter what happens, the truth is still in Jesus Christ. And that brings you through. Honestly, it does.
Tell me a little bit about, do you feel like your music represents who God really is?
Absolutely, I do, because you know why? In this generation, this day and age, you can't really force a lot of things on the people. You have to, plant the seed and let it grow. You know what I'm saying? So I give God praise because my music is very inspirational, and it also has picture, like so many people have been blessed by, even secular artists as well, reach out, So, girl, let me tell you, my new single is out. It's called Faith on 1,000. It's out right now. When I tell you that at this point in time, this song has uplifted me when I didn't have no faith, I didn't want to do nothing, I wanted to give up. God blessed me, it was always a ram in a bush and everything was able to work out. So this is my song, when you wanted to give up and nothing, this is me, all the way. Yeah.
Make sure you guys check her out. How do they find you?
Yeah, Christina Holloway, spelled with a K. You can find me on Instagram. My website is www.christinahalloway.com. Holloway is H-A. You can also look at me on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Y'all looking lovely right now.
We're doing good. We're sleepy, but we're doing good.
Yeah, sleepy. Definitely sleepy.
Church sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of sleepy where you barely making
Right,
it.
get up
Yeah.
early in the morning.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what's going on with you guys. You guys are amazing, your duo, everything that you're doing as far as music, even with the reality show. You are who individuals need to look up to, because we see so much negativity out here in this world that we never see what's really going on positive, because we know they always want to turn something around that's good and make it evil.
You know what? It's just, how can we say that? We're just being us. We're just doing the best that we can, trying to be as transparent as we can, so that hopefully people can see our lives and know that they can make it too and be encouraged by what they see.
She said it all.
The one point I want to make real quick is I had watched a couple of shows. My parents are actually pastors, so you remind me of my dad, because you do anything
Your
wrong.
dad look good.
You do anything wrong, oh no, you sitting down. Like, he did not. And I remember that episode when you were dealing with your son, and God, it just reminded me that there's still a standard.
Definitely just still a standard. So, we have to live it.
Yeah.
We have to live it.
Church kids all the way.
Yeah.
PKs, they always say we the worst ones, but we get there eventually.
God told me he was going to do something really special for me, and I didn't see it happen. So I'm like, okay, I know you said it, but my surroundings don't look like what God said. And I just had to learn how to worship, and in my worship, trust his word. And now I'm able to see the fruit of that years later.
Is there any time in your life that you're just like, God, really, is this really what I got to go through in order to minister your word?
I think at one point that was me, and I think I've just grown to a place to understand that literally everything works for good. Like, even stuff that feels bad for me, like it really does work. And so at this point, I'm at a place of faith that I can honestly believe, okay, this sucks really bad, but God, I know it's going to come out good.
Every person on earth before we met God, before he found us, was down and out and had no way out except for him. And so, really, I think all of us have that testimony. One of the things I share a lot is that we all have different stories, but we have the same testimony. And so wherever we find ourselves in this life, our testimony is that he's the only one that can rescue us.
Definitely. What about your relationship with Christ?
My relationship with Christ is absolutely everything to me. He is the most important person in my world, in all of our world. And I think that without him, we are nothing. And so my relationship with Christ is everything. He's the reason why I do this. What makes gospel music completely different is the fact that it is this message that we proclaim about a living Savior.
Is there anything major that we can expect from you coming up?
I just released a brand new project called Sounds of Revival. It's actually our third consecutive #1 project on Billboard, which is awesome. So we have a lot of great surprises in store for the rest of the year as it relates to Sounds of Revival. I can't talk about them yet, but they're very, very big, so I'm excited about it.
How do you feel about the Stellas right now?
Man, I mean, it's crazy. Vegas, I mean, the lights, the music, the people, it's a great environment this morning, this whole weekend. Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit about your transition. I did some reading up on you and how you were into boxing.
Yeah, my dad was a boxer, and so like your dad's inspire you. So.
Was it a big transition of what you're doing with music now from boxing? I mean, that's two totally different genres.
It is. It's definitely a transition. I don't really feel like it was a transition in my life, just the way my kind of life turned. One door closes, this door opens. And I just, fell in love with music and was just trying to do what I felt like God was calling me to do.
With that being said, what is your relationship, your personal relationship like with Christ?
I mean, that's an ever-growing I think that's nothing that we never graduate from, knowing more of God, And so I just always try, me personally, at this state of my life, since the past 10 years, just always try to be hearing his voice, because everything that I do, every decision I make, everything I say to people, I want it to be of him, and I want it to be purposeful. So.
And if there's something that you could give to the younger generation, because our younger generation is dying in so many different ways, especially when you're looking at the music scene and what's happening in the secular realm, what would you tell them?
I would say stay encouraged to know who you are. I think people look for 3 things in life. They look for love, purpose, and security. And so I would tell them to know what love is, know who love is, and how to love others. And when you do that, you'll find your purpose, and then you'll find your security. I think a lot of reasons why our generation is lost in a sense, or just lots of generations, is because the first thing we look for is security. And you don't find love or purpose inside of that.
No, you need God.
Yeah.
Wow, this was such an amazing and uplifting time to be able to speak to some of the best in the gospel arena. You guys definitely stay tuned as we go to the Stellas 2016 and we hit the red carpet. This is Real Talk with Louanna, reporting live for AZ No on AZ TV. Okay, so first let's talk about your album.
Okay, One Music Volume 1. That's the CD that we're up for. The single Can't Take God From Me is the single that qualified us for the traditional group duo of the year for Stellar Awards.
How do you feel about that?
I'm a little numb, but I'm excited somewhere in here.
Well, first I want to say you and your wife look amazing. Matching.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What were some of the things you had to go through as far as your walk with God to get that type of music?
A lot of suffering and a lot of trials. But the trials in this CD, a lot of the songs is from the things that I went through. So I just ministering through songs.
I think that's so important because I think a lot of times those songs is what delivers everybody else.
Yes, and when you've experienced something, you can give it the word better by experiencing a lot of things that take place.
Tell me a little bit about what you went through to write this song.
Oh man, the testimony behind I'm Good is just simply a testimony of redemption and knowing that you're good enough to survive, to go to work, to do these everyday things that a lot of people begin to get discouraged about, but we're good because God made us that way. So when I was writing, co-writing I'm Good with Rodney Jenkins and Jonte Austin and all these amazing writers, it was a song of inspiration and empowerment. So it's a blessing what it's doing right now.
Look amazing.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
And I want to tell you that a lot of your music was such an inspiration to me to get through so many different things.
Oh, good.
But my one question for you is, tell me a time when all you had was your praise.
You know, I grew up in the church, so I've always had my praise, and I've always had great friends. So there hasn't been a time where it's just been praise or friends or this or that, because God allowed me to have people in my life that were just so extraordinary, from my family, my friends, people in the music industry. I mean, Donnie and I pray together. Kirk and I are really great friends. So, you know, there's never been a time where all I had was my praise, but my praise is very vital to me.
If there's a word that you can give the youth out here, what would it be?
Oh, man. The one word for the youth, there's so many words for the youth. One word for the youth would be self-empowerment. Know who you are, know how much power God has given you, and then roll with that power, because it's a part of your destiny.
Hey, what are you so excited about as far as this year at the Stello?
I'm excited about seeing everybody being recognized. I think that's a great thing to see people doing what they do for Jesus. So I'm really excited about the performances and everything.
Isn't that amazing that at one point in time the gospel was thrown under the carpet, and now we're sitting here at the red carpet? That's 31st year.
Absolutely. That's something big. I'm so tired of that, being swept under the rug. This is a big thing. This is a big message. So I'm grateful for that.
Okay, so what can we expect with you as an artist?
I released this an album last year, September 25th. So I have a new single out, Oh How We Love You. So that's what I'll be doing.
Like, are we going to see you in concert soon? Or?
Absolutely. I'm from Chicago, so I'll be doing some stuff at home, and I'll be around traveling, doing some concerts and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. A good year.
I have a vision to bridge cultures. And so I sing gospel music about Jesus, but I try to do it in a way that all cultures can come together and worship God in the same house.
How important is that as a pastor?
Oh, no, wait a minute now. I'm not no pastor. No. I'm not a pastor yet.
Well, maybe I'm speaking something into existence.
No, don't do
that.
Yeah. That's too real for me. That's a little too real. No, I mean, but no, I'm hoping that God doesn't call me down that road.
I think I just spoke something.
No, don't do it, because we've heard it before. Don't do it, Lord.
Well, maybe that's why God told me to say it.
Don't do it. It's too much real talk here, too much. We have a child that was born at 24 weeks, and she was 24 weeks pregnant with our son, Todd Dulaney Jr., and he came and he was born, and so we didn't know what to do. All we had was God, because the doctor said, well, this kid probably is not going to live. And so we're like, no, we believe that God can keep him here with us. And today he's here, he's whole, he's awesome, he's funny, and everybody loves him. And so we thank God. We know that it was him that did it, because the doctors had given up on him.
That is so amazing. I love hearing different people's testimonies, because it makes us realize that, you know what, maybe I didn't go through that, and maybe we take life for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more we talk, the more we realize that we have so much in common. You know what I mean? All across the world, you'll never know until you open your mouth and tell your testimony as to what somebody else has been through as well.
Definitely. What can we expect out of you for the Stellar?
Well, I've been performing all weekend. I did the pre-show yesterday. Now for this Stellar show, my wife and I, we're just actually going to enjoy the night. We're going to try to look as beautiful as we can for
and y'all do.
Thank you. You know, we're trying, and so we're just going to hang tight and just enjoy the show.
You know what? This is my first time walking this Stellar Awards red carpet. You know, I'm fresh off Sunday Best as the winner, and it's really exciting. You know, I think it's a great moment for a younger artist to coming up in gospel. So I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm one of the got next ones, so I'm just happy to be here.
What was that experience like as far as going through the different stages on Sunday, Scott?
Well, with competition is a little different. You know, as an artist, you just want to, you know, do your music and go on. But with a competition, you're doing music, you're competing, you're nervous. But you know what? God has given me the grace to do it. So we're here. We're having a good time.
Okay, tell me about a time when all you had was your praise.
Well, I will tell you, there was a time where, you know, I was going through a rough time with my family. And singing and ministering and praise and worship is truly what got me through that. And so God is faithful, where his presence will come and give you the peace you need, joy, all of that. So that's why gospel music is one of the best, because it can really help you out through so many times, and it definitely did that for me.
How you feeling on the red carpet?
I'm good. I'm excited. It's a great year.
And tell me a little bit about all the great success you've had this year.
You know what? I'm just excited because this is a year I'm releasing new music. It's called Fearless, and it's dropping March 18th. And I'm just excited because I'm working with some of the best people that I've ever worked with, to me, in my career. Ty Tribbett, Dorinda Clark Cole, Kimberell. So it's just going to be a phenomenal year ahead.
So how is it to work with Ty Tribbett?
Okay, I grew up with Ty as a kid. So for me, watching his career grow, and to be able to work together, to me, that was probably one of the, you know, like you put some check marks in your career, in your life. That was my check mark career, one of my moments for me.
Tell me how it feels, first of all, to be nominated. First, you were nominated for a Grammy.
Absolutely. That was huge. I still am trying to figure out that I was really there on Monday and that really happened. That was a huge moment to be honored for the Grammys. Yeah.
And how do you feel being here at the Stellar?
The Stellars is my home. Gospel music is what I love. It's what I've always known. Again, I used to just come as a kid watching the show. I never thought in a million years I would end up on this platform. I am living proof for those of your people who are watching that God can take you really from anywhere and bring you to wherever he wants you to be.
And my last question is, tell me about a time when all you had was your praise.
Man, you know what? That happens a lot of times. But most recently, I was sitting in communion service really questioning my own self-worth. And God told me, you get your worth from me as your creator, not from other creations. He gave me the words to worth. I typed them out on my iPad, and the rest is history. So I'm telling you, God can use any place where you are and turn it into a testimony.
Your program is it ministers to me. There was one time where you did a show about the guy that had all these babies.
Yeah.
And some of the things I went through with my ex-boyfriend, it made me think, why do we choose? Why do we give ourselves away?
Yeah.
You are just an amazing woman. And if nobody tells you that, I want you to know that you're such an amazing woman because you're helping so many other people out there.
Well, you know, my desire is to serve God. What helps is the courage that the people have to come forward and tell their story. And the fact that they trust me enough to do that humbles me. And I'm just glad to be of service.
You know what I love about you? You keep it 100 real. You know my name's Real Talk with Louanna.
That's right.
So you keep it real all the way around.
Thank you.
So
what other way is there to be?
What, do you ever go through any trials with that? Do you ever feel like, you know what, God, I can't do this?
No. I did that when I was younger, and that didn't work out well for me. So I've learned not to tell God what I will and won't do. I show up willing, I voice my concerns, and then I pray myself through it.
You're just amazing. I can't say enough. Can you give me one time when all you had was your praise?
The day after my daughter died and my husband decided he wanted a divorce, all I could do was praise. Pray and praise.
Well, look at you. You on TV.
Yeah.
You walk in red carpets.
Yeah, right.
You're ministering to so many.
Well, that's it for me. The carpet, the television. I would do this if there were no carpet, if there were no show, because my life now belongs to God in a very different way. So what I'm grateful about is that people notice.
I'm here with the amazing Kirk Franklin.
What's going on?
And your beautiful wife.
Thank you so much. So do you.
You are an inspiration, especially to the younger generation, because I remember hearing your song "Stomp" and it being kind of, ruffling some feathers at the time, but just seeing how far you have gone in the gospel community. And I actually seen a post the other day, because I do stuff in the secular arena as well as the gospel, when you were talking about Kanye West. And I thought it was amazing how you reach out both to the secular and the unsecular.
Well, my job in life, wherever I am, because I'm not trying to be in one specific place, I just want to be a light, just wherever the Lord puts me. I mean, wherever I am, I just want to be a light for Him and shine for the glory of Christ. And if I can do that, then I pray I'm fulfilling my job.
I think you're doing that. I think there's so many people that may not even believe in God that tune into you specifically and go out there and buy your CD because you reach us.
Well, I'm very humbled to do that, and I'm very thankful. And there's a lot of, young, great gospel talent here that's able to do that well, too. And I want to celebrate them and showcase them, too.
Awesome. If there's one thing where all you had was your praise, can you tell me about that situation, that time where if you didn't praise God, you wouldn't have made it through?
Yeah, well, this past year was a very difficult year of, trying to navigate through trying to be a businessman and, husband and father, and trying to adjust to the changing of the industry and, people dying and life changing. And, sometimes you realize that God is all you need when God is all you have. So, that's where worship is found.
And my last question is about your new album, How You Lose Your Religion. And I've seen different things that were going on as far as in the media. They may have took it one way, but we all know that sometimes we get too religious, and we need to lose our religion and really get a relationship with God.
Well, really, that's all I'm saying is that rules without relationship leads to rebellion. And if we just put the rules on the people's back, it breaks them down. So really my approach is not how bad you are, but how great God is. And so if I could change that paradigm shift to not you're bad, but He's good, so that the love and light of His goodness can be the power that changes us.
It has been such an amazing time here live on the red carpet. I'm Real Talk with Louanna with AZ in the Know on AZ TV. We've interviewed several amazing celebrities like Kirk Franklin, Yolanda Adams, just to name a few. And you know what? Now we got to go backstage in the press room and see who's going to actually take home that Stella Award. So come and join me as we watch the show. Great. How do you feel right now?
Crazy. 2 records
9 awards altogether, 5 for my first record, 4 for my second record, and to hear all the stories and testimonies, it's a crazy feeling. It's a blessing.
So how is it to be a pastor and also an artist?
You know, it's the best of both worlds. It's a blessing at both ends. There are tons of people, you know, that have multiple roles and multiple responsibilities, and at fellowship we say teamwork makes the dream work. So I'm surrounded by great teams and great people, so we're blessed to be able to get some great stuff done.
So I am here with the beautiful Tina Campbell. You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
I watched you, and I watched your story unfold on reality TV, and being through certain abusive and also a similar type of situation, I could really relate to what you went through. Talk a little bit about that.
My marriage was devastated on my reality show, season 3 of the Mary Mary Show. Never did I think when I signed up to do reality that my marriage would end up being devastated and I'd find out publicly that my husband was unfaithful to me. I found out about multiple cases of infidelity and multiple years of infidelity, and I was so broken and I was so hurt, and I displayed it on the show, but I also allowed the show to watch me while I was trying to forgive and trying to get through the process. And because my God is so faithful and his word is so true, and he will never leave you by yourself when you call upon him, he brought me through that. And my husband and I have been reconciled to God. We back in love with God. We back in love with each other. We've forgiven every sin. I've forgiven everybody. I'm not holding on to it. I'm not bound. I'm not shamed. I'm not embarrassed, because God liberated me with his word. And so that's what my reality show has been showing since it's shown me in the pit. Now it's showing me out of the pit and feeling like I'm in the palace. Is that all right?
You are a self-made millionaire. I think that's amazing. What is some advice that you can give out to other entrepreneurs, individuals that are trying to climb that ladder, but you know, we're in a tough economy right now?
You don't want to eat an elephant in one bite. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so what I say is find out what that major gift is that you have and reach for the low-hanging fruit. Do what's easy and then use the resources from that to build to the next level. Otherwise, sometimes you bite off more than you can chew and you discourage yourself rather than encourage yourself.
So what do you have going on?
I'm promoting my project, Broken to Minister, the deluxe edition. Excited about that. It's doing really well at radio. And also on March 18th, I have a project coming out through Sony on Blue Engine Records with Wynton Marsalis, and it's called The Abyssinian Mass with the Jazz Lincoln Center Orchestra. So that's going to be really awesome.
I feel really good. As the Bible says, make your calling and election sure. And one thing I am sure about is that the Lord called me to do this. And this is what I love. This is my passion. And I want to empower others who are around me, those who I'm in reach of and touching. I want them to be empowered to dream and to be calm and to believe that God is able to do anything.
He is able to do anything.
Anything.
So I had the opportunity to interview you on the red carpet. Now we are backstage after you won in every single category.
Oh my God. So I don't know how to feel. I knew I just saw you. I know how I felt then at that moment. And in this moment, I just want to tell God, thank you. Thank you for trusting me to sing and write songs that's going to bless people across the country and across the world.
Thank you for being an inspiration to so many.
Thank you so very much for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
In the know with Louanna.